Hey, I wanted to give you guys a big thank you to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate your support. Hey, for those of you just tuning in, if you find this content helpful and want to see more, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support is appreciated. Thank you. Well, let me start off by just telling you how impressed I am with the packaging. Just really super nice. This is some of the nicest packaging I've seen. Very sharp little unit, compact, super nice. Everything has been conveniently wrapped up in this box here. Tells you all that you're getting, all that's included. Everything appears to be really nice quality. All right, so this is what you get with the MiG 135 from Andeli. Let's start off with gloves. They give you some decent gloves. These aren't bad at all. I'm 6'2", 240. Gloves fit my hands just fine. They have pretty decent padding in there. They will definitely get you through a few welds there. This is the mask they include. Now, this is a little different. Still a little small, little mask, but conveniently, they give you these little glasses that you can pop on your face. Or you can actually insert this into the mask. Those can be inserted into the mask and worn like so. Not bad, pretty decent. I mean, we all love freebies, right? So you got your mask and your gloves covered. They include some wire. This is some flux. Let's see, that's 030. So they give you a 1 pound roll of some flux. They give you your MiG gun. It's the typical vinyl little sleeve on the outside. Here's your user manual. Pretty detailed. A couple extra tips. Here's your grounding clamp. Here is your stinger for your stick welding. And here is the unit. I'm very impressed. It seems really high quality. A fan on the back. They don't have any duty cycle information. I'll dig for that there in a minute. They give you a clear screen on the face so you don't damage your control panel. Everything labeled, marked. Under the hood, at the top of the door here, they give you some useful information. They tell you about your wire size, different wheels needed. They give you the steps to get you going. And here is your polarity setup for MiG, lift TIG, or stick. Always nice to have that. All right, here's the place for your wire. Just going to go ahead and give that a push in and turn. Remove the spring. Pop off that washer and you're good to go. Add your wire here. This is your door for your wire. We're going to feed that wire through here counterclockwise. This is your motor wheel. So you're going to want to remove this to make sure that you have the correct side sticking out. This is 09 and this is 08. So we're definitely going to want to put 08 for 030 on that side there. So just double check that, make sure that's all correct. So why don't we grab the wire, let's get it fed through the machine and get you guys set up. All right, we threw on a roll of wire, and this is something you may or may not know. But but when you're dealing with flux core wire, flux shielded wire, there's a coating on the outside, obviously, that protects that weld. You want to make sure not to torque this tension screw down too much, because you will crush and damage that shielded protection on the outside. So just torque it down just snug enough. But yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. We got our wire fed. We're coming out the front a couple inches. Let's go ahead and get our MIG wire set up. We're going to feed that down. Just to get that started, you just want to have a few inches sticking out. Give that a little twist. We're going to screw on our power or our trigger wire. Let's go ahead and check underneath our door. We're going to be setting up for MIG, so that grounding clamp will be connected to the positive side there. We are powered up. The screen is very, very bright, very vibrant. I like the little clear door that they put on the face of it to protect that pretty screen. So up close, let's start at the top left. We can select through our wire size, so 030, 035, and 040. I currently had a roll of 035, some flux wire that I had left over that I put in place. So you have the 2T, and I believe we're going to long press that same button, and we're going to get it flashing, and we can switch from 2T to 4T. For those who don't know, the 2T, you pull the trigger, begin welding. When you release the trigger, it stops. With the 4T, you pull the trigger, start welding, release the trigger. It continues to weld until you pull that trigger again and release. Then it stops. So I guess it's useful if you're welding really long stretches and you don't want to hold that trigger. You have that option. We're going to long press again to get out of that. So we're going to leave it on 035 and 2T. Below it, right now, it is on the synergic option here. So the synergic option is going to give you a recommended settings for the wire you're using, and they always do a pretty good job, so I always start there, and if I need to adjust from that point, you can, but Synergic always has a pretty good roundabout of where you need to be. So if you're just getting into welding, just go ahead and hit that Synergic selector. Now this is manual, so if you want to just go ahead and control everything yourself. This is going to be your amperage. This is going to be your wire speed. Let's shift on over to our stick welding. Now there's also a TIG option here. So if you wanted to purchase a TIG, a lift TIG, you could lift TIG on this machine. But I love the screen, very bright. Easy to use. Everything's clearly labeled and easy to read. Super nice. Fans producing a lot of air there, keeping this unit cool. Very nice. Very nice little unit. Let's go ahead and run us some wire through our MIG gun. Remember to take off your tip when you're feeding that wire. I'm going to point out, when you remove your tip, make sure that you have the correct size in there for the wire you're using. They do include all three tips for all three sizes. You just want to double check that. But make sure to remove this before you start feeding your wire. There is also a wire feeder button here, so you don't have to pull that trigger. You just hold this down, and this is going to rapidly push that wire through the machine, speed things up a little bit. All right, our wire's through. We're going to clip that back about an inch and get our tip screwed in. All right, we're set up. We have our wire fed. Through our MIG gun, we have gotten acquainted with the control panel. So let's go ahead and bring it outside and see if it welds as good as it looks. We're at the Andeli MIG LED 135. A very capable unit. Here's the last look. The Andeli 135 MIG LED. Very impressive little unit. Very, very capable. This unit right now is $129 on Amazon. I think there's a $10 coupon. Bring it down to $119. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below. Everything you need in the box, ready to weld, including a pound of welding wire. So if you have a project at home, you're looking for a little welder to get started on, I highly recommend Andeli's MIG 135. Thank you guys.